minute early. Because I need to go and do all the things with the thing. So let me just... hello. Yes, I am here. Welcome to everyone. And I put up the schedule. Yes. So those of you who are familiar with the stream, my name is Lee. By the way, for those who don't know, Human Vibes today. Share Day is fine. Okay. We are... Yes. I do have to... Let me see. Do a few things here and there. As, you know, the usual starting the stream nonsense. I suppose I could do the... for those of you who might be more familiar, Tuesdays and Thursdays are my Warhammer 40k days. So Warhammer 40k, if any of you do not know Warhammer 40k lore, I'm willing to give you as much lore dump as you want about the lore, but it's a lot, so it's easier if you just start asking specific questions if you don't know what's going on. Rogue Trader is... no, we point this way. I am learning. Rogue Trader is a game that was created by Fantasy Flight Games in the early 2010s. And then in 2017, they lost the licensing rights and had a fallout with Games Workshop. According to their press, it was chill. They both agreed to, mutually agreed to not do it anymore. They do have another Warhammer 40k roleplay that they just put out. Well, not just. 2020. So, yeah, they put out a new Warhammer 40k roleplay in 2020. I have yet to check it out. So, that's a thing. Wait. Oh, hey. That's fun. Okay, sorry, I need to do one more thing, and then I do also tend to eat on stream. I know it, I haven't had too much objection to it yet. I'm going to do one more, interesting thing, which I don't usually do, but you know what? I'm going to try it today. Beautiful. Okay. So, with all that settled, I actually am just... this is the first time I've used Warhammer as my usual thing. Oh, right. Give me half a second. Actually, I can do my, that. Okay, I'm back. Hello. Sorry about that. That door is closed. Now you can see all my stuff hanging on the edge of the door. Whew. Okay. So, Rogue Trader. We're going to do it. We're going to start streaming. Hopefully we have a few fun friends come join us. If not, no worries. I realize not everyone can come all the time. I have a pen. Now this is my most important world building tool as such, because reasons. Oh yes, we created the Seneschal who's did we give him a name? We did give him a name. Marthelos. I remember this because we specifically created him to be brother to let me look. Beezus, yes. Darren. Yes, we specifically created to Darren. Yes, we created him to be brother to Darren, and sorry. Alright. It's too early in the stream for this. Alright, but a little water would not hurt. Also, say hi in the chat. I very much am always big on people saying hi in the chat. If you, oh wow, hello. Welcome. Apparently I have a lot of people viewing. So hi, welcome. My name is Lee. Him vibes today, but she or they is fine. Please say hi in the chat. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. If you just want to lurk, that's cool too. Also, Doc, if you're watching, thank you for following. I really appreciate it. And yeah. Okay. That's fun. Okay. So we have a couple options for today. Generally for when I do my Tuesday and Thursday streams, I do Warhammer 40k world building. And we get so I've been hi, welcome. You are watching. Welcome. Thanks for following. Always fun to have people. Also, a lot of my streams are just hang on, let me tweak this a little bit. Are chat driven. So I don't know how much you know about Warhammer 40k lore. If you don't, ask in the chat. I like people in the chat name stuff for me all the time. It's just very I try to be very interactive with my streams, so but yeah. So last time we did Warhammer 40k, we did let's see. Yes, that was Brunhild, different version of Brunhild. I have this stream notebook. I'm slowly but surely starting to type all of this up, but it's got a mix of Warhammer 40k notes and that's a stats for a snake. It's got a mix of Warhammer 40k notes and also notes from world building and character creation from my Wednesday streams, which are world building, a couple of Thirsty Sword Lesbian concept stuff, a lot of world building from lots of different stuff. I've been trying to slowly but surely typing it up. Sometimes I do typing on stream, but today I think if let's see, Expectus Primus, those are the what I should do. Give me half a second. I have to bring up. Do I have it set? Oh, nope, I already had it up. Cool. I have... So what I have is nope. Expectus Primus. So, basically, what I've been doing for Warhammer 40k is, because the game is Rogue Trader, I've been creating a Rogue Trader ship called the Expectus Primus, which was named by someone in chat, actually. And going through all of the... Did I put down... Question is, did I put down... Martellus? Yes, I did. Oh, wait a second. We agreed that they weren't directly from Beezus. So, each of these listed characters, I've created a whole basis for. I've created a whole how they ended up on the crew, and what their history is. Home planets for a lot of them, like say Bertland, Captain Helmsholl, Bertland. We wrote up on Viseria. We wrote up on Hamish. Also, we all of the all of the these characters are fully statted up and possible to play too. They're all noted in here. But what I've been doing is for each of them is going through over the history behind how they all gathered onto the ship, and what their how their stories are interwoven, and how there are all the different home planets, just because I've been creating like a story while working a lot of it with random rolls, just live on stream and weaving this tale together. And of course, Martellus is the most recent, but he and we've been working on the planet Beezus as well. But he and his brother both weren't from there originally. They were there when the orcs attacked and got caught up in that. That fight with the orcs was actually their refugee. They became refugees during that fight, and a lot of other crew members also joined up during that incident. But they weren't from Beezus originally. Martellus actually, I think, what's my notes? He pissed off a crime boss while working, and then they heard, he had rumors they were going for his little brother, who was going away to school. So, let's see. So he, and yeah, the rest of it's just mechanical stuff for the character. If we ever wanted to play Rogue Trader, I do run a game on Saturday mornings. And I have run a few other one shot. For Rogue Trader. Yeah, that's my roommate coming home, so. But sorry, distractions are abundant. What I meant to say was, so they, the homeworld, a lot of these characters, basically, well, I can show you actually. So, the rulebook for Rogue Trader, creates a, method called the Origin Path, which I do have here. Okay, we're gonna have to mop this down for half a sec. Which basically lists homeworld options, right? And we, for various characters, we either rolled randomly for homeworlds, Actually, I think almost always we rolled completely randomly for Homeworld. There were a few cases where it was a little more limited in our rollings. We rolled a D3 instead of a full D6, but um, um, uh, sorry. Even in, those cases, we rolled for it. So, um, and then once we'd had one of those basic 6 options, we would work through what planet they were from and exactly what the planet was like. And so, there we go. But we didn't do that for, actually for, which ones was for any of them that had, were noble-born. Let's see. Well, and also for a det, but the det was born on a ship, so that really didn't count. And we actually named the ship too. And how the 2 ships coincided. Actually, several of them got press ganged by said ship, the Paracast, which then was, had a run-in with, thing, but this, yes, I guess the ship Praekus was assigned to working for the Adeptus Mechanicus Explorer Fleet. Press ganged, including now the 3 now on Expectus Primus. Adet was born on the ship, and Herman and Jezebel had been press ganged by them. The ship had a run-in with a bunch of orcs, received aid from guard troops, one unit of which was Xyle, but they just pulled a bunch of refugees off the planet Beezus. And Martellus and Diren had been part of that whole refugee air transporting Imperial Guard and refugee but then they realized that they yes, and then we had several drama with the several what's the technical term? Navigator houses, which we used to then funnel certain navigators in. If you have any questions or want me to go over stuff in more detail, or like, wait, hang on, what was that again? Tell me, because I otherwise I'm just gonna, sorry about that. Keep going. Yeah, no, that's just a thing. Okay. Otherwise I'm just gonna keep battling and eventually create something cool. But yeah, if you're curious to any of this, Althraxis, okay. Also, if you have any cool names for planets, so for example, I showed this, the planet of Zacharon is not actually a planet I've created, or Kofoth, or Korstennis, or Kulamen, or Grelth. All of those planets are yet to be created. They're just names that are cool sounding that people have given me, that I've I usually actually occasionally roll to name planets. So what I was thinking was we could pick one of them. Let's see. Here, let me read from the book, because it's actually really... the Warhammer 40k, hang on, let me put it down at first so it doesn't come up right away. I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing if it does, but... Colonia... Nope, that's TLC, the Trollord games. Not that I haven't done occasionally a Trollord games. But, what I can, do is bring this here. Here. There we go. Now let me tweak this, no. Oh, here we go. There we go. Now, excellent. So, this is, what's the term? The PDF of the rules of the game, for which I've created all these characters and all this lore. The reason I bring it up is that I like to read out of the rulebook occasionally on stream. And it's a very unique style to the writing, and the flavor text is it's beautiful. It's got a very much this is all the people who like cover art for Andrea Uderzo, for example, was the one who made the picture I use. Always good to shout out your artists occasionally. But let's see. The reason I go... Okay, homeworld options. So, this is a lot of lore text about the various places characters can be born, which gives a lot of details about the Imperium, here. Imperial worlds. If you want me to read out any of this, by the way, if you're curious, if any of it looks interesting, let me know, because, yeah, the stream is, like I said, always extremely interactive, so if you want to hear about, one or any of it looks interesting, I'll stop it so you can read, I'll read it out for you, just, I'm always glad to share, but I specifically want to, wow, like we have more viewers than usually we do, and nobody in chat, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I don't mind when people lurk at all, and if, I'm glad they, decide I'm worth hanging out and listening into, but it always is nice when people say hi in chat. But I wanted to read out Nobleborn, because that applies to the particular character I've been working on, and, might help, here we go. Some things can be taught, others acquired by force or trade, but they are all inconsequential. The only thing that truly matters is the lineage of your blood, the noble worth that flowed in your veins from the very day you were born. The high nobility of the Imperium are an enormously wealthy and powerful elite, a breed apart from the common masses they rule. Many noble houses span the stars in an intricate web of kinship, arranged marriages, and political alliances that ensure power and influence will ever continue, even if the fortunes of a single world fail. The product of centuries, or even millennia of tech-assisted breeding and cultured refinement, these noble lineages hold the history of the Imperium itself in their blood. They are the finest that humanity has to offer, or so they would have you believe at any rate. Nobility of birth has never been a guarantee of good character, and for every example of true enlightenment or greatness, there exist dozens of capricious, self-obsessed noble scions who prove, by their base failings, that bloodline is no measure of superiority in the Imperium. Worse still than the dissolute idlers and petty tyrants are those nobles whose dark inclinations spill over into heresy and other forms of true malignancy, often for no better reason than boredom or a sadistic love of power. This last supremely dangerous group are cause of many imperial woes. From almost their first breath, those born to the high nobility are schooled in the role they must play and how they must play it. Their fine tutelage covers not only the details of history, commerce, and power politics, but an education in the finer points of taste and etiquette. How to wear a mask of one's own choosing, how to give an intended slight, how to curry and met favor, how to defend one's honor, and how to comport oneself are all lessons deeply ingrained. In some great families, these arts have darker nuances yet, such as the correct use of poison, a well-executed betrayal, and the employment of assassins. Connected, socially skilled, highly educated, and able to move in the high circles of imperial society, those of noble blood are frequently as ruthless as they are charming and as dangerous as they are well-mannered, making them skilled and subtle members of a rogue traitor's retinue. You were born into wealth and privilege, educated by tutors and tempered by spiteful intrigues. You know how to move in the high circles of imperial society, you know how to bend others to your will, and you have never been touched by the harsh life endured by common citizens. You may be an honorable and faithful soul, well aware of your duties your station imposes on you, or a dissolute, apostate rakehell who cares not for the lowborn. Either way, the risk and power of a rogue traitor's dynasty beckon you. So, the reason I read that, other than it's cool and well written, and is that the Icrap brothers, before they were refugees, were essentially living on Bizas as, well, basically, Velas was running a loan shark business, essentially, payday loans, charging exorbitant interest rates, and generally, he and his brother, were forced to flee there by unusual circumstances that he, escaped, and, he used his skill in commerce and, what little money he had available to start this business, and it thrived, and he thrived, until the orcs showed up, but, you know, you can't really prepare yourself for orcs. Sometimes orcs just happen, you know, and you're never really prepared for orcs. But the question is, I thought maybe as an exercise in world building, because I love a good exercise in world building. That's kind of what I do on stream, is either character creation or world building. I could create a planet somewhere that these two young men were from originally, where they grew up before they ended up on Bizas. Alright. Sorry about that. So, the first thing I'm going to do is you know what we're going to do? I got a plan. We're going to do this. Take this down. Pull this up. So I have, right here, I have 4, cool, actually, do I have 5 or do I have 4? Let me look real quick. I have those 4, and I think, hey, welcome! I'm sorry I missed your stream earlier. I don't know how much you know about Warhammer 40k lore. I was about to just invent a planet whole cloth. Well, not whole cloth, whole cloth. What I was about to do was pick a name from my list. Oh yeah, no, it was very, very lucky. And then the one coming the other way, the connecting bus was late, so I got home much later than, usual. But, I still did get home. And I will, pop in to watch it later, because I do love the Monsters of the Week are always fun. Hey, I understand lag issues quite a bit, because when you stream live, that's one of the things that happens. We'll see. I'm sure it was great, though. But yeah, I have been trying to figure out. I was going to. My plan was to roll for. Okay. Yes, 40k is. So here, hang on. Let me show you something cool. So we have if I do this one, Rogue Trader was actually 40k. Is like the other Warhammer. It's the tabletop, miniature game, but it has all this really cool lore. So back in the early 2010s, Fantasy Flight Games, they signed a contract with Games Workshop to create the an honest to goodness roleplay game to dig into the more RP one-on-one action kind of thing. And one of the ones they created was Rogue Trader. There was a few others. Only War, which was Imperial Guard. Gotta love the Iggies. You got they had a Space Marines one, and then they had Dark Heresy, which was the Inquisition. And I've been playing Rogue Trader, running a few adventures. But what I've been doing is assembling the Expectus Primus, and sounds cool. Yeah, no, it's quite a bit of fun. I think he mentioned that he played Dark Heresy, but I could be misremembering. I just mentioned on a forum that I kind of wanted to set D&D in 40k universe. He's like, they already have it, and I'm like, oh, okay. They have a new Warhammer 40k role-playing game that came out in 2020 that I kind of want to look into, maybe, but yeah. So I do Tuesdays and Thursdays is Warhammer 40k day. So today we're but I created this whole crew of rogue traders, starting with the Expectus Primus, which is the ship, and then of course the entire roster of characters who have and I was creating backstory for all of them, and what I ended up creating was a whole list of planets, a homeworld for each of them. But one of the characters I created was, created two, Darren Akrot, that's it, and Marthellos Akrot, and they were noble-born and had been living on a planet called Bezus, which was named by someone on the stream. That's a lot of the time when I create a planet, I'll have people on stream name them. Yeah, most of the planets I have are stuff people on I was in Yusheng. People on stream have named. But yeah, so I have the Expectus Primus and the entire crew roster, which I wasn't showing before, which I thought. And then some stats for the ship. And then, yes, go sleep. Do not, hopefully you don't get a really bad case and have it be nasty. If you got the vax, you should be hopefully a pretty mild case from what I've heard, but Just sleep it off. Don't sleep on your back. I've heard that's not good for your lungs. But yeah, so you should be fairly mild. You just have to survive it, hopefully. All right. But get some sleep. And I hope you feel better. But thanks for dropping by. I always appreciate it when people stop by. And a lot of the VODs are up, and if you want to stop by some other Tuesday or Thursday, I can tell you about all the planet we create or whatever. Good night. Okay, what was I gonna do? That was that. Oh yes, I think we're gonna roll for it. Is what we're gonna do. So we could. So we have for. You know what I'm gonna do? We're gonna redo it. We're gonna go. Zakruron. Yeah, and then pop this here, just so that they're all So we have 5. 1, 2, and I just so happen to have a D5. So Rogue Trader and the other Fantasy Flight games, as well as I believe other games by Fantasy Flight Games that aren't Warhammer 40k based, use a D10 system, right? They do D100s for a lot of things, or D10s for damage rolls, stuff like that. When they don't do D10s, they do D5s. Now, usually what you do for D5 is you, I would show you my dice tray, but my secondary camera got taken over with the mic. But this is a D10, like a D10. So if you roll a D10 and cut it in half, you get a D5. This, this right here is a D5. It has 5. It's a little. The shape's a little bizarre. So, because it doesn't have an even number of sides. If it lands on certain sides, the number is written on the top like this. That's the 2, and the 4. But if it lands on certain sides, it ends up like the flat. So you have 1, and 5. But it is balanced, and it is a D5. I was lucky enough. There's an Impact Miniatures ran a Kickstarter where they were doing fun color dice, and one of the things they were doing was a set of stuff like D24s, D16. Like, they had random ones that weren't, the usual set of 7. They had all sorts of other random ones. So I got my hands on a D5, and sorry, let's grab this real quick. Gotta have your pen. So when I realized I could get my hands on a D5, I jumped at the chance. I jumped at the chance because it was fun. I love dice. My shiny click-clack math rocks make me happy. But when I realized I had a D5 in that pack, and that Warhammer 40k ran on a lot of D5s for all sorts of certain stuff, I was just like, I can just roll a D5. I have one. That is a thing I have. It's just a D5. And but since we have 5 options, 5 planets that have been named, and also if anyone watching right now has an interesting name for a planet that they were like, it can come up with one, I'll add it to the list. I'm running short. I only have 5 left. I had a whole bunch. And there have been brilliant. So I think it started, I asked, it was, which planet was it? And Willem. I asked, I believe, Phantom NJ and Mystic Unicorn Painting were in the chat at the time. And I said, they started threw in Vellum, and I said, okay, I'll grab it. And then they started throwing all sorts of other ideas for names, and so I just wrote them all down for later. And now if I need to create a planet, I generally roll on the table. So I have a D5. I have 5 names. We're gonna roll it. I used to have a dice cam. Losing more viewers. That's okay. I don't mind. You know. Oh, yes. Roll the D5. I used to have a dice cam that I would put up, but I got the new microphone, which is great, except it requires a USB port, as microphones often do. The other microphone was with the camera, so I'd have the dice cam and the mic on the USB port, but since I just have the microphone, which is a good microphone, I only have, and I have to use my USB ports for my keyboard and mouse because my computer is fussy and doesn't like to have the built-in keyboard and mouse work. I only have 3 USB ports, so I can only, I kind of had to pick, and I picked the good quality mic, but I'm going to get a USB splitter so I can increase my number of ports and eventually have my camera back. But in the meantime, we got the mic, we got one camera, which I only need one, and we have a D5. So let's do this. I'm going to roll. I'll tell you what I roll. I won't be able to show you the roll, but I won't fudge it, I promise. So we got, I'm going to put them in order. So 1 would be Kofoth, 2 would be Korstanis, 3 would be Kulnomen, 4 would be Grelth, and 5 would be Zekrarun. All right, let's do it. Ready? That is a 3. So let's so 1, 2 Kulnomen. Let's see. Powerful family. I'm gonna put that out. I don't know about ancestral, but yeah, let's go with home of the ache. Oh, right, because yeah. Tharlos was in a mercenary company. I remember this. That's part of his, that's what the company he worked for that when he pissed off the crime boss, the mercenary company. I remember this because that was when we rolled, we got Stubjack, so yeah, okay. I'm remembering all my lore, but that's why, yeah, we're just gonna say that for now. So that, just so we note that it's Kulnomen. Then we're gonna, go from there. So, what I'm gonna do is, they actually have a, in the, they have other world building stuff, which I Um, it's kind of fascinating. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go. Yeah, I am. If we go to the, there's a whole section on planets of the Imperium, detailing what planets your explorer might encounter in the terms of their getting the I know they actually listed snacks as in the things you need section, which I think is hilarious. Right. There's all sorts of interesting stuff on the Kronos Expanse, which is actually, give me a sec. I have a map I can show you. Let me go to image. Okay, now map. Yep. Boom. Let me go through. Boom. Boom. There we go. This one. Okay. So, this map is of course huge. But what if I showed you, Kronos Expanse is right here. This, if I show you, it's on the corner. The Kronos Expanse is Calixis sectors. This sector here. It's on the very edge of the Imperium. And Rogue Trader, most Rogue Traders are said to go there, although there's a lot of edge of the Imperium and you could go from other parts, but generally, here, we're gonna lock and then bop. Okay. We'll have it if we ever need it again. Actually, fun fact. I actually marked several, see these little, the very small yellow, marks that are drawn in, I actually marked several planets that I was using for my own campaign on the map. You have to zoom in to see them because you have to zoom in to see any kind of close-up of anything. But if you look at the Uhulis sector right here, Renthok is there, and Renthok is pretty cool. A personal favorite of mine that I spent years on. These are, of course, none of these are the planets we're working on. Sorry. They are actually, okay, I'm gonna lock all of them into place. Right, because we just do that, and then you can unlock them as needed, because if I lock all of them, I can, there's a reason for that. Okay. Oh, wow. Liquid. Oh, shoot. I was going to do that, too. Later. I can do that tomorrow. It's fine. Sorry, past midnight, so it won't help. But, what I meant to do was, oh, right. So, I was going to bring up the, that, and then bring up that. The rule book so I can show you that. And then what I was going to do was, because Halo Expanse. Rogue Traders known within the Expanse, the crude Halo artifacts, the all sorts of crazy people you might run into. Compliance with terms of the warrant, lineage, rewards, trappings of power, conditions, all sorts of stuff that you would, Into the Maw is an adventure you can run. Imperium of Man, here we go. This is the more basic world building. Here we go. The galaxy is a vast spiral 90,000 light years across and 15,000 light years thick, containing hundreds of billions of stars. Only a fraction of those stars have habitable planetary systems, and only a tiny fraction of those have been investigated by humanity or any other starfaring race. The initial human colonization of the galaxy lies in the distant past, lost, forgotten, and obscured by 20,000 years of regression and rebuilding. Human worlds are scattered throughout the galaxy, but their distribution is far from even. The greatest concentration of human worlds is in the galactic west, centered on the cradle of humanity itself, Sacred Terra. On the fringes of the galaxy, human worlds are few and often far apart. Many human worlds benefit from mutual contact and comparable level of technology. Others have regressed to a primitive and barbarous state as a result of long periods of isolation. New human-populated worlds are being discovered all the time, and there remains an unknown number which have been isolated and forgotten for hundreds, if not thousands, of years. Also, the Imperium does have colonization efforts, which do happen every couple hundred years, so that's another thing that's going on. But stellar empires can seldom be reckoned in terms of the spatial area they occupy, but more often in terms of the star systems under their control. The Imperium is the largest empire in the galaxy. The million and more worlds that lie under its dominion spread throughout the entire galaxy. There have been arguments whether it's in the millions or billions, how many planets they control. I would argue toward billions simply because the millions didn't factor in A, that the Imperium can terraform certain things, and B, a lot of systems have more than one occupied planet. Earth, the Sol system being the prime example of that, with its Earth and Mars and Luna, and at least one of the moons of Saturn is a Inquisition base, and that's 4. That's a conservative estimate. But that's, sorry. Oh, I'm losing viewers. I don't mind. I know I haven't actually done anything useful all night, but, we're going down. That's okay. The Imperium is the largest empire in the galaxy. Yes. It extends the limits of the Astronomicon, the psychic beacon cast by the Emperor on Terra, which human vessels navigate. The Imperium cannot hope to control all the star systems within this vast area, not even the majority of inhabited systems within its borders. The galaxy also contains many alien races, ruling smaller empires of their own, as well as empires ruled by humans who often foolishly consider themselves apart from the rule of Terra, which then the Imperial Guard will go and fix eventually. So, it doesn't help anyone. But the fringes lie beyond the light of the Astronomicon, and so beyond the easy reach of the Imperium's forces. They are known to contain human planets settled in ancient times, as well as many alien worlds. Some of these planets have populations which are feral or barbarous, but many shelter highly advanced cultures. Most worlds are self-governing or belong to small, independent human or alien empires. Agents of the Imperium are continually exploring the fringes, spying out dangers, and fighting wars beyond the borders of the Imperium itself. Beyond the fringe lies the halo stars. The entire galaxy is fringed with a halo of the most ancient stars, the majority of non-extinguished and circled by long-dead worlds. The desiccated secrets and horrors lie entombed beneath the surface of these worlds are best left unexplored. Few visit these regions, and even fewer rogue traders often steer clear. Wilderness space. Most of the stars of the galaxy remain uncharted, their systems unexplored. Whole areas of the galaxy are embroiled within warp storms and therefore inaccessible from other areas. Other systems are simply remote and await mapping and codification by the Imperium's explorator fleet. These largely unknown zones are known as wilderness space or wilderness zones. As warp storms abate, previous inaccessible regions are explored, uncovered ancient human settlements, as well as alien races and empires. Wilderness zones are spread throughout the galaxy, often separating more densely populated regions of space. Humanity is but one of many races in the galaxy, however, few are so widely distributed or so numerous as humans. Most occupy only a single world or planetary system, which the Imperium will often go and slaughter all of them. The majority of aliens are comparatively primitive, peaceful, or powerless, and have little interest to humanity. Only a few alien races are powerful, aggressive, and possess technology that rivals that of the Imperium. Among the most common are Orcs, Eldar, though many more exist. The worlds of the Imperium are governed by hereditary rulers called Imperial Commanders or Planetary Governors. The Imperial Commander holds his planet or system on behalf of the Emperor. In return for his oath of loyalty and regular planetary tithes, he controls the planet as his own. The Imperial Commander is free to administrate and defend his planet as he sees fit. Most maintain fleets of interplanetary spacecraft, ships built to operate within their home system, and in the vast majority of cases lacking the warp engines needed for travel between stars. Interplanetary spacecrafts are common on all technically advanced worlds. Even on primitive or feral worlds, the planet's governor and his associated staff and warriors would have access to spacecraft. The general population would remain either ignorant or completely in awe of spacecraft and technology. Interplanetary shipping is administered by the Imperial Commander of each system. Some Imperial Commanders keep a tight leash on space travel, while others are far more relaxed and allow the organization and maintenance of independent space fleets to serve the system. Similarly, while some Imperial Commanders police their systems very thoroughly, others find it impossible or impractical to enforce controls on independent operatives. Some Imperial Commanders undoubtedly collude with anarchic or piratical groups, trading off the control of planets or asteroids, mining or transport rights, or even defense and policing concerns in return for personal profit. These commanders may maintain that this is the only way they can control their worlds. Each planet is responsible for its own defense. Imperial commanders are obligated to build ground-based defenses, spaceports, and what defense fleets they can. The number of weapons and ships any individual system will vary, depending on the enthusiasm of its governor as much as the possible danger. In addition to ships under control of the Imperial Commander, planets lying in vulnerable positions or having a history of trouble may also have an Imperial Navy base. Although Imperial Navy ships are independent of those of the Imperial Commander, both would be ready to meet an emergency. Imperial Navy ships may also be stationed in one system so that they can patrol a number of nearby star systems. Or transport Imperial Guard troops from war zone to war zone is also a useful thing that Imperial Navy ships do. I was planning on just reading the section Planets of the Imperium, and then, because I didn't plan to read on all of that, but it's interesting, and I kind of like it. And if it gets boring, let me know, I can skip over parts. I can, alright. What I'm gonna do... I'm gonna stream for an hour. Which isn't a very long stream, I know, but, generally my streams don't last much longer than an hour because I don't last much longer than an hour after work, but, yeah. I'm gonna read a little bit about planets of the Imperium. There's a bunch of different, options for types of planets. I think roll randomly is what I'm gonna do. Like, let's see. There's a whole list of different types of planets. And, the worlds claimed by the Imperium of Man are as diverse as the galaxy itself. Generally, only those planets that can support humanity or be terraformed so that they become habitable are heavily settled, and yet there are plenty of worlds where human life clings against nigh impossible odds. Such worlds are those with natural resources of great value to the Imperium, or ones occupying strategically vital location, perhaps near one end of a warp portal. In many cases, the tiny settlement might have existed for millennia, long forgotten or isolated, its inhabitants clinging to a brutal subsistence level of life. For convenience, the Adeptus Terra classify the worlds of the Imperium into one or more broad types. In most cases, these classifications describe the use to which the planet is put by the Imperium, while some describe the environment where this defines type. The sprawling bureaucracy of the Adeptus Terra classifies and subclassifies planets according to a nigh impenetrable system, often combining several features. Thus, a planet might be classified as a hive world because it is defined by its vast cities and astronomical industrial output, but might also be of a secondary classification, night world, ocean world, or even death world. The major classification are as follows. So, sorry. Hive worlds, agri worlds, civilized worlds, dead world, Death World, Research Station, Feudal World, Forge World. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna start. We got Hive World. Let me. Pen's out of ink, which is not good. So, there we go. So we got Hive World, Agri World, Mining, Civilized World. Let's see. We got Forge World. I mean, we could go for a dead. Civilized world. Most of these worlds are further categories, such as cardinal worlds. Yep. So we're doing cardinal world, mining world, garden world. Or one of 1,000 classifications, but so cardinal world, we got garden world. That could be fun. Mining world. And we have. Okay, Forge World or Sovereign Domain of, so feudal, let's go with a feudal world. Whoa. Oh, abhumans, yes. Abhumans are a lot of fun. Feudal world. So that gives us 6. And because we have 6 options, I can roll a d6. And then what I think I'm going to do is we're going to grab a we're going to have this d6. I don't know what happened to the rest of the set, but we have this d6, so, let's. I think this is one of the sets that went in dice bag. I maybe should put it back. I have a lot of dice in there. I should probably put some of them back in the dice bag or something. But what I was gonna say was, what was I gonna say? I don't know. I'm gonna roll the d6. And we're gonna set our classification, and then we're gonna change it on the sheet. We're gonna start taking notes. We're gonna start some stuff, and then next time on Thursday, for example, I don't know what time I'm going to stream on Thursday, but I will run a stream on Thursday. Warhammer 40k, we can do more details on Khulnamen, and I guess this stream was kind of a lot of lore reading, a lot of stuff we already talked about, but it worked out. Hopefully you guys weren't too bored by it. Okay, I'm gonna roll my d6. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna roll a d6. 5. So we have a mining world. Okay, Beezus was also a mining world. So actually it makes sense that they would, it makes sense that they would, or at least it's irony that they'd end up. Okay, so said I was going to abide by the dice unless someone really wants to front me for a reroll with 100 bits or 100 channel points, but you guys don't have to. I appreciate. You guys don't have to. So, I'm gonna say silicone. I mean, it probably has a high, I would say iridium and silicone and, well, silicone is actually fairly common, right? It's a semiconductor, so it's useful in chips and stuff, but it's, mostly, it's pretty easy to get your hands on, if I remember correctly. But no, iridium is a good one. Is mercury mined? Is that a thing? I am gonna learn a thing. Is mercury mined? Like other metals, mercury is extracted from ore, one of the main varieties being cinnabar. Droplets of liquid mercury can actually be found within the ore, though it is usually extracted through heating. Mercury vapor then forms in a condensation column for which the liquid collected when it cools. Oh. Alright, so mercury is mined. Alright, why don't we... For high mercury deposits. So it's a secondary branch of the family. Hang on, secondary branch of the family. So, what's the word? The family, the imperial governor is Ishrat family, but a secondary branch of the family, is, but Darren and, or a secondary branch, of the family, not the, descendants of the planetary governor's brother, and since he has his own kids, they're not in line for the title, if that makes sense, but, yeah, that's why, Metellus joined the mercenary company, and, they actually have a few daughters, I'm sure, sisters, rather, who, off and married other useful people. Okay, okay, we're gonna, adjust this very quickly. Mining world. Yeah. So, what other, Mm. Um, uh, um, there's one large continent. Um, with a great deal of ocean. The mines are generally on the southern. There's one mine up to the north. The northeast. Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm exhausted. Thank you for hanging out with me. For as long as you have. Oh, quick note. Before you go, if you for those few you are still here, there is a Relentless Rebels. I posted a link in chat. Is a jewelry company. They make this this anchor. Well, it originally had a black chain, but I switched out the chain actually. See if I can find it real quick. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so this is another necklace that is so. It's one of my favorite. Like it's just super cool. But you see how the chain is. Originally, it came with this silver chain. I swapped it with the anchor. That came with that chain, and they swap, which is I think really cool. And they're compatible. But yeah. These are just two examples of how cool their stuff is. It's very reasonably priced for how high quality it is. You can get 20% off using my code. It does take a while to ship because freaking they're in Europe and tariffs and customs are a bitch. So if you're not in Europe, it takes a while. So be patient, is what I will say. Worth the wait. Very cool stuff. They're just a good vibe and they're super nice about stuff. So that's chill. Thank you for all hanging out with me. Let's see. Do we have anyone worth raid? Yeah, let's raid. The Mandy is a friend, I believe a friend of Kayla's. They're playing Dungeons and Dragons. Pretty cool RPG. We're gonna raid into them, say hi. If any of you want to come along, well, I'm gonna raid into them. If any of you want to come along, there's probably not gonna be many of us, but you know, fun stuff. Spread the love a little, and I will see you all soon. Bye. Let me just do...